Hi. So, cheap diamond stones for sharpening, do they work? Well, I've got one here that I got from Amazon. You may remember that previously I tried out this Parkside water stone, so water-based whetstone from Lidl, and it worked out okay, but it was quite messy to use. You have to soak the stone in water, you have to use it wet, so it is a bit messy. And I decided after that I thought I'd try out a diamond stone just to see how they work out. So this is one I got from Amazon. So the make is Kalolary and it's made in China. I got it from Amazon for £17.99. You'll need to check it out in the country where you live to see how much it is there. What I liked about this is that it comes with a stand and it's a double-sided plate. Let's take a closer look. So just a quick look at it. You can see it comes with a stand. The nice thing about the stand is it has rubber feet and it also has a cover so you can put it away. And the stone is double-sided, so there's a 400 grit and then on the other side there's 1,000 grit. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. The size is 6 inches by 2.5 inches or 150 millimeters by 65 millimeters. So it's not the largest of stones, but it's probably okay. Most of the knives that I plan to use are fairly small. You can see the pattern on here. It's got diamonds bonded to a metal plate. It's quite a thin metal plate. If we look at it here, you can see it's a thin metal plate mounted on this plastic and it's double-sided. So just looking at this, and I have used it a few times already. This isn't my first use and it's got a couple of scratches on it already. But the diamonds seem, I can definitely feel with my thumb, I can feel a difference between the two, between the 400 and the 1000 grit. And the good thing is that it's reasonably flat, so, which is good, because that's one of the problems. So it has been mounted pretty well actually. So the key thing is it going to work? So I have my trusty test knife here. So this test knife is a Solingen stainless steel paring knife. They are pretty cheap. I don't mind scratching this up at all, and I use it to test all of my sharpening stones. I recommend having a cheap knife, either a pocket knife or a paring or kitchen knife, to use for practicing on. One that you don't care if you ruin the edge. But what I'm going to do with this Lansky Puck, using the rough side, I'm going to make sure it is thoroughly blunt. So the Lansky Puck is pretty good. I use this for axe sharpening. It's got two sides. Why don't you check out my video on this? I'll leave a link somewhere up there. So it's pretty good. It's great for the less finer blades to sharpen. I mean, you could sharpen on here as well, but I found this puck shape makes it great for axes or garden implements. Anyway, I think that's pretty blunt now. Let's give it a quick test. So just using the post-it note. Yeah, that's pretty blunt. My technique for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the push and pull technique. The benefit of that is that I'm not having to keep changing the angle. I'm just going to approximate for this, so I'm not too worried about this. So I'm just going to try and keep roughly the same angle. I have the blade angled to here. This means that I can get good coverage without having to move it too much, and I'll be looking to try and fix my wrist and just move my arms backwards and forwards. So let's give it a go. It might be a bit noisy and I'm not going to cut away, so this will be the real life time that it takes. So I'm using my thumb as a guide. You can hear it, it's a little bit noisy. I can feel a little bit of a burr with my thumbnail actually. So I've done that side, I'm going to turn it over and do this side. So I'm keeping my fingers well away from the edge. And hopefully I'll remove that burr. Let's just give it a quick try. So it's quite coarse, so it should sharpen fairly quickly. Right, so let's give it a few more passes. I'm trying to keep even pressure and give the diamonds a chance to work. Right, let's take my post-it note and see how we're doing. I think that's pretty good actually. I think I've got most of the blade. Let's turn it over. So we're now on the 1000 grit. Now one of the problems sometimes with these cheaper stones is you get grit contamination, so let's see how it goes. I'm trying to keep the same angle. I'm trying to cover the whole length of the blade. You can hear it's quieter. Let's try a new piece of paper. I think this cuts pretty well. Just to finish it off, then I'm going to strop. So for stropping, I've got this cheap Timu leather strop. On the smooth side, I put some of this Smurf Poo. And just spread it on, not too thick, but enough that you get a nice even coverage across the whole strop. Right. Let's move this out the way and let's give it a few passes on the strop. So I'm really just using the weight of the knife, hardly putting any pressure on, and trying to cover all of the blade. And you can see just making sure I don't dig in. You can see I'm getting fairly good coverage. Just a couple of passes on each side. Let me just clean it off. And I'm just going to switch over to the other side, which is just rough leather, just to clean it off and make sure that there are no burrs left. Okay. So testing with a piece of Post-it note. Super sharp. So, do cheap diamond stones work? Well, I would say yes. And the reason that I went for a cheaper one is I thought, let me see how I get on with it. If I don't like diamond stones, then it's better to have tried it with a cheap one, such as this, than with an expensive one. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, though. If you look at the surface, I think not so much on this side, but on the other side, I've got a couple of scratches developing. So I think with the cheaper ones that the diamonds are likely to wear off sooner. But can I recommend this? Well, yes. I mean, give it a go. It depends on how much sharpening you've got to do. I will be getting a more expensive one at some point, but for now, this works really well. With the 400 grit, it sharpens quickly and removes a decent amount of metal. I think it's going to be fairly easy to keep clean. It's nice and flat, so that's not a problem. It's not messy either. That's one of the good things about this. And then with the 1000 grit, is it giving me 1000 grit? Possibly not. It definitely feels smoother, but I think it's giving a decent edge. If you strop afterwards, then I think you're going to be okay. So I'd certainly recommend this. I always recommend stropping anyway as well. I hope you found this interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you got this product or one like it? If you really don't like cheap diamond stones as well, then let me know. Let me know if you've had a bad experience with them as well. Thanks for watching. Why don't you check out this video or this playlist? I've got a sharpening playlist and you'll find some other things. You'll find the video for the Parkside sharpening stone as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.